Hello, beautiful people of the world. Today is going to be a bit of a different video. It's something that's just been kind of on my mind, just to kind of talk about America, the good and the bad. I know that I have a lot of international viewers, and I know that I have a lot of people who are also from America, and the energy here, is definitely complex and intense at times, and I just want to be honest and open and just talk about some things, I guess, for anyone's interest or enlightenment or entertainment, what have you. So I live in New York right now, not in the city. I'm probably a few hours from there, and I spent most of my life growing up in Maryland, Northern Virginia, and DC. So my experience is very much from the East Coast, and currently I live in a pretty conservative rural environment, and before I lived in a very liberal urban area. So I definitely have those two different experiences. Of course, there are 50 different states, and there's lots of different parts of America. You can't just visit Paris and think you understand all of France, and there are very many different aspects of this country for sure that I don't even know, but I think I have a good general understanding. I've lived here my whole life. I would really love to do some more traveling, but I guess some general good and bad. So the bad parts I'll go with first so I can end it on a positive note. This country is very divided. There is a lot of fighting amongst ourselves, which is just really infuriating, and it really prevents a lot of progress. There are definitely, it's almost a 50-50 split. Our current president, as I'm making this video, is Donald Trump. I hate to even say his name. For me personally, this is a huge embarrassment. It's disgusting. I'm ashamed. I am not proud any longer to be an American because of this. I'm very disappointed in my fellow Americans who have voted for him. I apologize if you're watching this video and you do support him, but I believe that he holds a lot of racist and sexist opinions and values that I really do not align with, and I don't think will help us as a species or as a country. And if someone has supported them, I think that they don't think that these issues are big enough problems, and that is upsetting to me, and I'm sorry if I lose some followers or some support, but I'm assuming most people that watch this are a bit more open-minded. So that is pretty bad. There is a lot of aggressive macho men out here that are just doing the most, that are very disrespectful to other races, that are very disrespectful to women, that are very disrespectful to the LGBT community. There are a lot of ignorant people here that think that because they're white, they're better than everyone else, that because they're straight, that they're better than everyone else, and I'm sure this is the case in a lot of other places, but it is incredibly frustrating. Our education system is all over the place. It's not very coherent. I was lucky to grow up in a place where the education system was fantastic, and I learned a lot about different cultures and ethnicities, and I lived in a very diverse area. There were people from all over the world that lived there because we were close to the capital. But there are many places that I know the education system is very bad or very heavily influenced by religion or spreading really false information or run down, not getting a lot of funding. Racism here has very physical effects. There are a lot of people of color that live in areas where the buildings are run down, where there is not as much education, where there is not a healthy food supply for them, where there aren't as many jobs. And a lot of people will view this and think that that's their fault, but it is our fault. I guess not, it's everyone's fault. It's just been happening for a very long time. This country was built on... we slaughtered an entire culture, okay? And it's hard to swallow. The Native American people, there are still some here, but they are subjected to these tiny little plots of land, and this was their home. And it saddens me so much that we came here and thought that because of Christianity and because of colonialism or whatever bullshit it was, that we could just completely destroy another culture and push them out of the way and make space for ourselves. And I feel like that still happens a lot with men here who feel like they need to take up all of the space and do whatever they want and not care about the consequences. And we are suffering very much because of that, and as well as slavery, of course. So we not only destroyed an entire culture, but brought another one here from somewhere else and really fucked up a lot of people's lives and karmic lines, and we're still struggling. People are so slow. We have so many people of color that have fought on the front lines, that have lived here longer than we have. Some of us, our family trees, and there is still so much disrespect and ignorance, and it's incredibly frustrating. It's very hard not to get angry. I'm someone that tries to love everyone, obviously, but I just really don't fuck with intolerance. It's just very difficult to understand how that's even happening in 2018. And like I said, our country is very divided. There are a lot of really open-minded people. There are I will say there are a lot of highly intelligent people, but there's also a lot of uneducated people who are staying in the shadows and don't want to progress and don't want things to change. Mostly the older generations, but there are people younger than me that have been saying some really racist shit around here, and it's completely mind-blowing. It's heartbreaking, to be completely honest. And Hollywood is very weird. I know that our media is very international, but it's very superficial sometimes in America. There are a lot of people very obsessed with their bodies and their image and the things that they own and money and greed. And I feel like those are the original energies that we started with, of just greed and trying to take all of the resources and do everything and not care about the planet or what we're doing. Probably, obviously, our culture stems from European culture, so I think that there's a lot of parallels there in terms of conquering and you know, a lot of European countries have done similar things in Africa and with Latin America and things like this, and throughout Europe, and the indigenous islands, Australia and New Zealand. It's rampant, but I guess in the American sense, perhaps we feel that this is good. There are many people that are so patriotic about it, and it kind of really rubs me the wrong way. It's not like, yeah, I'd be proud of your country, but there are people that are like, this is your flag, English is your language, and it's not like that. I don't believe anyone owns anything. This is Earth. This is fucking Earth's land, not our land. Other animals live here too. Other people live here. It's hard to claim something like that. There are people from all over the world that live here. And so it's really ignorant to think that you can just be very oppressive. But unfortunately, that is just kind of what's happening. There are a lot of pollution problems, but from what I can tell, it's not as bad as it is in Asia right now. So I guess that is bad, but it could be worse. There are a lot of, like I said, really intelligent people here who are making strides in terms of eco-technology and science, and alternative things and medicine. Some places have great healthcare, some places don't. It's really a mixed bag when it comes to that, because our government is by state as well as federal, so every place kind of has its own vibe. And then the oneness factor is really shaky right now. People are just not on the same page about anything, and it's very hard to move forward. It's very chaotic right now. It's like on the edge. There's so much tension and fighting and different opinions amongst people that are here. It's hard to feel unified to the culture or the country itself or even to other people. There's a lot of distrust. I'm gonna make a separate video for the positive things because I can't really make these longer than 10 minutes or it doesn't upload, but that's just kind of the shit that's going on right now.